Salute and welcome to the Stories and Cocktails podcast, where you will enjoy an entertaining short story from acclaimed humor columnist Rob Kreider. Story time is the family portion of the show. Then we move on from the stories to the cocktails. This is where the alcohol and the not safe for work portion of the show takes over, as Rob and his wife /editor /muse Sara Kreider partake in some adult beverages and provide you with a behind the scenes recap of what really inspired the original story. Put your feet up, relax, and enjoy yourself a round of stories and cocktails. Cheers.
This article is called Pedal to the Porcelain by Rob Kreider. Hey, that's me. A while back, me and 3 of my less intelligent friends decided it was that time of year again to compete in the 24 Hours of Lemons, an endurance car race for $500 cars. It takes a certain lack of smarts to drive a car that you wouldn't trust to get you across town to get to work, and it takes even less smarts to take that same car onto a racetrack with 100 other equally crappy cars. Well, I've never made a claim to be much of a brainiac, so after winning overall in the same race in May, instead of quitting while I was ahead, I found myself back in the seat, driving like a madman for 24 more grueling hours. Driving in an endurance race takes a pretty hard toll on the body. Specifically, drivers become dehydrated while being inside the hot race cars. We found a quick fix for this and allowed our team to stay out on course longer by rigging a camel pack to the back of our seat with a drinking tube routed up to our helmets. This proved to be a fantastic way to hydrate the drivers. However, our solution for dehydration created a hydration problem. Yes, folks, I had to go tinkle. The water went into my body just fine, but driving a stint in the race for 4 hours straight, well, there was no place for the water to go. After about hour 3, I was in excruciating pain, but I wasn't going to pull into the pits and give up the race lead because I had to go wee-wee. The race only had an hour to go, which meant I had to wait an additional agonizing hour before I could go to the bathroom. Victory was on the line. It was getting to the point where I couldn't think about anything else except going to the bathroom. I was bungling my shifts, missing apexes, and losing control of the car while concentrating on controlling my bladder. Then suddenly a name came to me, Alan Shepard. That's right, Alan Shepard, the first American in outer space, an astronaut, a real hero. He went to the bathroom in a spacesuit because his rocket was delayed for hours. The engineers hadn't provided him a bathroom in the space capsule because his flight was only supposed to take 15 minutes. I figured if a hero like Alan Shepard could do it, then I certainly could. Nobody would judge me, right? I mean, after all, I was doing everything in my power to win the race for my team. Then I remembered another Alan McNish, multi-24-hour Le Mans winner. If Alan McNish could go win the 24-hour Le Mans while peeing in his driver's suit, then I could certainly try to win the 24-hour Lemons by doing the same thing. I contemplated the pros and cons, and taking a whiz in my suit certainly beat coming in for a pit stop and losing the race. I would do it for the team, and for all the Allens out there. So I did it. A grown man wet his pants. I was quite proud of myself, and I'm not going to lie. It felt so good. After the race was finished, I got out of the race car and quickly found that my peers, and especially my wife, whom I love, were not as impressed with my ability to bravely go to the bathroom in my pants while driving 100 miles per hour. In fact, they were all pretty grossed out by the notion. I wasn't awarded the hero's do-or-die win-at-all-costs reputation I was going for. Instead, I was given the, "Oh, gross, you might want to go change your pants, dude." I didn't care what they thought of my pee pants, because I drove us across the finish line in first place and we won the race. Except that we didn't. At this race, I learned some very important life lessons, besides the potty training. Lesson number 1. If you're the reigning champion, chances are the technical inspectors are going to look at your car very closely. That leads to lesson number 2. If you're the reigning champion and you know the technical inspectors are going to look at your car very closely, follow the race rules precisely. In other words, no racer/cheater shenanigans. My car was in the inspection line for all of about 3 seconds when it was impounded by the officials and taken apart. That is where they found the really slick super go-fast parts from ST Suspensions and Ioport Racing Supplies. Remember, these cars are supposed to be worth $500. The technical inspectors did their job and found over $1,000 worth of illegal parts on our $500 Integra. Busted. Hey, that's racing. Only you feel extra stupid when you get caught cheating while you're standing there with your pee pants on. My 12-year-old son was on hand for this debacle, and he put it all into very terrible perspective for me. "Dad, why did we get disqualified?" I said, "Well, it's complicated, son." "Dad, was it because you wet your pants?" "No, there's no rule about that. Yet." "Dad, was the car illegal or something?" "Well, not exactly." Then he said, It's either legal or it isn't, Dad. Did you cheat? I tried to explain. No, I wouldn't call it cheating. It was more like a colorful interpretation of the rule book. Dad, that's cheating. You're a cheater. I felt terrible. Son, well, I guess when you break down all the facts, all black and white like that, I guess I can't argue. I suppose we did cheat. Now give me a second. I got to go change my pants. So that was the 24-hour lemons for me. Drove hard, wet my pants, lost respect to my wife, won the race, got caught cheating, lost the race, disappointed my son, hung my head in shame, and had a soggy butt. End of story. It wasn't exactly the glory-filled celebration of a second consecutive win that I was hoping for in that series, but definitely an unforgettable and damp one for sure. Next time, I'll wear Depends adult diapers. By the way, there's a reason the team puts me in the car last as the anchor driver, because nobody wants to sit in the seat after me.
Okay, folks, it's time to pop that top and let's get to those cocktails.
Hey, welcome to Stories and Cocktails podcast, drunken portion of the motherfucking show. This is a home show, baby. We're here, not a home show like you can get a hot tub and shit, but like we're at our home.
Yeah, yes, that's true.
Right. You've been to a lot of home shows.
And I bought hot tubs there.
No, exactly.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. Like, come to the home show.
Actually, I learned this the last home show we went to. We were in our RV and they tried to sell us solar. And I was like, motherfucker, I don't have a home. I can't get solar because I don't have a home. They're like, you want solar for your home? And I was like, I want a home.
Like bitches on wheels. I'm not attached to the grid. I need fucking solar. What are we doing here?
All right. So anyways, what are we doing here?
Well, that's a good question. So first of all, we have a very special guest on the show. Isn't this exciting?
It is exciting.
Now, do you know this person?
I just met him. Well, I mean, I met him a handful of times.
Yes.
But like I just met him again for like the third or the fourth time today.
I liked it when you introduced yourself to him and he's like, I've met you 3 times.
Well, you know, racers. Oh, I'm giving it away.
The special guest we have here today on the Stories and Cocktails podcast is California state champion, Aaron Douglas.
And it is my first state championship too. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, hell yeah. Congratulations,
Aaron, and
man.
welcome.
It's a big deal.
Very excited.
And the next time I meet you, I will 100% know you. I'll be like, hey, Aaron, because I won't know you as like a random racer. I'll know you as the guy that came over and was on the podcast.
Yeah,
So-
I couldn't pick you out of the crowd before, but now I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, Sara Kreider.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so
Exactly,
same. All right. Do we get to drink on this podcast or what?
Yeah, so listen, this whole podcast isn't just to celebrate the state champion in the room here. We're here to drink. So, Sarah, what are we doing shots of?
We are doing shots of dough ball cookie dough whiskey.
Yeah, so we were introduced to this in Milwaukee from our good friends,
Cindy and Matt.
Cindy and Matt, who we mentioned a couple times now.
They influenced us in ways they'll never know. Now we drink dough ball whiskey.
We do because of them.
Yeah.
They gave us shots of this in Milwaukee at a crazy bar, and we found it at our local grocery store. So it is a whiskey that tastes like birthday cake.
Now it says cookie dough on the bottle.
I was going to say, it tastes to me like cookie dough.
It's not called birthday cake. It's called dough ball.
First of all, I drank too much of it to remember. This is the cookie dough whiskey.
Yeah.
This is not the birthday cake whiskey.
Yeah.
It's delicious regardless.
All right, you ready?
All right, so raise a glass to Aaron State Championship. Salud.
Cheers.
Delicious.
Oh, you guys nailed that. I sipped mine. I'm still going here.
That doesn't taste like birthday cake at all.
Oh, tastes like.
It tastes like cookie dough.
I could down a whole bottle of that. It's so good.
It is delicious.
Now, I know that you want to get into the whole California Autocross Championship series. Before I let you boys just kind of go at it, I got like a couple things I want to say.
Oh, okay.
I got a disclaimer.
Wait a second. When you said we're going to go at it, is this like a tip-to-tip thing?
Oh, Jesus.
What are we doing here? What kind of show is this?
We get real.
What do you think is going to happen on this episode?
You guys are going to talk about boring shit. I don't know. You guys are going to start talking about like the freaking weight of titanium lug nuts. And when that happens, I'm fucking out.
First of all, I'm a huge proponent for titanium lug nuts. That's a good idea.
I know.
Titanium anything.
Yeah, fuck it.
Wait, you guys aren't getting to that yet,
The
though.
amount of money I've spent on titanium in my life, I wouldn't even say it with my wife in the fucking room. It's outrageous.
To save like 2 pounds?
Now, what I should do is just not go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
But instead, I go to McDonald's and then I buy titanium lug nuts. And I'm net zero.
Okay, so you guys are going to get to that shit, and it's going to bore me to tears, and probably our tens of listeners are going to be bored to tears too. But before we do that,
Okay.
Aaron, I heard, it surprised me because you're a very young man. You're married.
I'm very lucky, I would say, with a woman I have to share my life with, and that's how it is.
I love that.
That's dope.
How long have you guys been married?
Just only a couple years.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, here's some unsolicited advice. And unsolicited means you didn't ask for it.
Well, thanks for women's planning when unsolicited. He's 27 fucking years old. He's married.
Aaron, do you want to stay married for a long time? You did say share your life. I understood that to mean your whole life. into the future.
All of it.
For the record, married men live shorter than most men.
Okay.
We've always joked with each other. You're stuck with me, like forever. You're
See,
done.
I love that.
Life's
That's
over.
good.
That's what marriage is all about. If you want that to be true, quit fucking racing right now.
Well, see, the problem is that's my main hobby. But at least she understands that, and even to the point where she's entertained it and she's racing herself.
She's a racer too, Mrs. Kreider. What do you think about that shit?
Oh, that's
how the Douglas family does it.
It doesn't need to be a fancy car. She does it in her daily Mazda 3. So
And she rips too.
Okay, so now you're just bragging. Now you're like, she likes racing and she's not even expensive. Like, she just does it in her Mazda.
Aaron Douglas is like, hey, I'm a state champion and my fucking wife races. What about you, Rob Kreider?
Yeah.
What have you done?
how many guys can brag that their wife drives a straight pipe car as a daily driver?
That's pretty dope.
I don't know what that even means.
Well-
I was going to say, you can probably brag it because you probably gave me that fucking car to drive.
No, we had the Bullet Mustang. I put exhaust on it, and you're like, you fucked this car up. I hate this car. I'll never drive this car again. I'm like, great, don't drive my fucking car again.
Aaron, I've been driving race cars as my daily driver since the day we got married. I just didn't know it with the fucking Mustang. I got 19-year-old kids pulling up next to me and they're like revving their engines and like putting like racing gloves on and stuff at the freaking stop. Like, I'm just like, dude, I'm picking my kids up from school. Can you fuck off? Like, what is happening? And he's just like, oh, honey, don't even worry about that. Just ignore that shit. And now I know it's because I had a straight pipe.
Straight pipe exhaust.
So I'm constantly learning. Okay, so apparently racing works for your marriage.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. It's hard for me to even say it. Like,
Well, it's worked for our marriage for 28 years so far.
Is it working?
I mean, we haven't got divorced yet. You've threatened it numerous times, but I mean, you never fucking pulled the trigger. It was a bluff.
So we have this history. It's hard for us to talk about racing without me throwing like a lot of grenades his way. So if a little shrapnel comes your way, I'm just apologizing ahead of time. Disclaimer, you might get hit.
This poor guy, he's sitting here.
Oh
with a
yeah,
fucking
let him
drink.
open his fucking beer.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron, open that drink and tell us what you got there, because it looks good.
It's really good.
Oh, yeah.
This is a Parabolita from Firestone.
Now, you said this is a barrel aged.
So it's aged in a bourbon barrel, and it's a stout, and it's got vanilla beans with cocoa nibs, sea salt, and it's a salted caramel Parabolita. And it
That
is
sounds
so
good. Props to Firestone.
You should put a little dough ball in there.
That's actually a good idea.
It's a great idea.
That's a good fuck. I have good ideas.
Great ideas.
I don't know about titanium lug nuts, but I fucking know about.
Well, you
drinks.
bought a few.
Okay, so that brings me to the reason why I'm drinking whiskey, and that's trauma.
Uh-oh, we have a reveal
here we
on the
go.
show.
Here we go.
There it is.
Just racing in general. Like I said, 30 years of fucking. Yeah, I mean, the story. You fucking pissed in your race suit.
All right, let's get to that for a second. So the story this week is called Pedal to the Porcelain, published April 1st, 2022 in The Wheel. Now, April 1st is not like April Fool's Day, like this is a joke story.
Oh, I wish it was.
This is one of the most absolutely true fucking stories. I definitely went a little bit of the bathroom in my racing suit. So anyways, I'm sorry, because you were there for it and our son was there for it, and it was a traumatic thing.
Well, here's the thing is that we didn't have to know, right? Like your racing suit, I learned a long time ago to just stay away from that fucking thing. That thing smells like sweat and desperation.
Because
And
every time you wash it, you lose some of the fire retardant.
Yeah,
So you don't
so-
wash it.
your racing suit is like the fucking plague to me.
The yellow plague.
If you had pissed in it, I would never know. The reason I even fucking know is because he's on the radio with the headset and he's telling the spotters and he's telling everyone who's listening, he's like, hey, you guys, like, am I clear to go on freaking turn 7? And I've got good gas. And he's like, and by the way, I got to pee. Everyone's like, okay, well, just hold it. Just keep racing. Like, stop being a bitch.
We were leading
whatever.
the fucking race.
And then they're talking like in the midst of, do I need to pit and all this like logistics? Then all of a sudden he just starts going, oh yeah, there it is. Oh yeah. Oh, on the straightaway. Oh, this was good timing on my part to just pee.
Is this open mic?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Everyone heard me take this piss.
That's awesome. That's actually awesome.
Sarah does not agree that it was awesome, Aaron.
Aaron, I wanted to like you, but you just come in here fucking bragging about Mariah being
With
a
your fucking
racing
straight pipe
wife.
exhaust.
Yeah.
Giving the high five to Rob for taking a
She's
piss
a
in a race
shit.
car.
She's a shit.
So listen, yes, it happened, man. You had to hear me take a piss on the air.
NASCAR driver Denny Hamlin, the number 11 FedEx Toyota Camry.
Yep.
For his entire career, and you could say he is one of the older veterans of the sport. He has been around for
100%.
a long time.
Yep.
Like rookie year 2004, 2005. He has never peed in his fire suit until 2024.
For the record, he's also never been a NASCAR champion. Just saying.
How old? So how old is he now, though?
40s, early 40s, late 30s.
He's got his own podcast. He was featured on a recent Netflix documentary. He's the man. I was really rooting for him this year. Denny is due to win a championship for NASCAR.
Okay, so
But he just learned how to pee in his pants, and that's why he hasn't won this championship for the last 20 years. You know what I'm saying? I learned that shit long ago.
when he peed, did he win that race?
He got close
He
to
damn
it.
near did.
A couple weeks before that on his own podcast, he was talking about like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't understand how these guys did it. And then the week after, he's like, now I see why these guys do it. Full on relief, can focus on the rest of the race, doesn't have to worry about that pressure. The only thing that sucks is for the poor guys that have to clean the car and the fires it after the race.
Or the guys have to sit in the car after him. Like, I don't know, NASCAR, no, but in the case of Lemons, it was a shared car.
No, I was always the anchor driver. I was the last driver. So
Okay.
I peed in the seat because no one was going to sit in it again.
I hear a guy, Denny, if I will be so familiar. So Denny is making his way up through all the amateur racing, NASA, SCCA, Lemons, and he's not pissing his fucking pants. And then he gets to NASCAR and he has a huge, ginormous fucking paycheck.
And
he
a big podcast.
finally pisses in his pants. What's the difference?
That if he did it a lot sooner, maybe he would have been a NASCAR
I think
champion.
I'm telling you right now,
Or
if
maybe
Denny, if
he
Denny
wouldn't have
Hamlin
been.
just stepped it up like Alan Shepard and Alan
Oh, wait.
McNish did.
Now, Alan Shepard, was he also a professional race car driver?
He was an astronaut, but Alan McNish was a professional race car driver.
Okay.
Won the 24-hour Le Mans.
So either
multiple
way,
times.
we're talking about a NASCAR paycheck or a Formula One paycheck.
Yes.
What paycheck did you get when you pissed in your pants in front of everyone?
Here's the thing about racing. There's a lot of money in racing. I know because I've spent it there.
Uh-huh.
I didn't get it from there. People ask me like, hey man, you've won all these championships. Do you make money racing? I'm like, well, one time I got a check. It was like $1,500 for winning a race, but we spent like $5,000 that weekend to win that $1,500. So it was net negative $3,500.
I don't want to go dark. The last thing I want to do is point out how fucking dangerous racing is. But that $1,500 paycheck, did you bring that home?
I gave it to the crew.
Bullshit.
Oh, that one. Well, I donated to a guy who died in the race.
Uh-huh.
He died in the race, and then we donated to his family.
Okay.
I thought it was like the nicest thing we could do.
Aaron, that shrapnel, is it hitting you?
Oh, I'd never laughed so fast and then felt so bad immediately afterwards just from him saying that.
So, hey, this is what happened. In 2008, 24 Hour of Lemons started in Altamont Raceway, and we won the race. A guy, unfortunately, crashed and died. And so when they gave us our money, we immediately donated the money to the widow.
No, that was super nice of you. And that's why I don't want to bring up like a sadness.
It's pretty sad.
But I just want to point out, like, from my standpoint, from my perspective, racing costs a lot of money. There's some embarrassment because you pee your pants. And it's super fucking dangerous. Okay, so you come from a family of racers, Aaron.
My parents. So they've always loved motorsports, but they haven't raced themselves. I would be the first in the bloodline to have wanted to be serious in motorsports.
Well, you're the first in the blood that said, hey, Dad, you went to the race, you saw NASCAR at Sonoma, then you jumped in a race car, and you and your
Right.
dad raced against each other all year long.
We have.
And you guys had quite a battle
It
this year.
came to the last race.
It was a great race.
So your parents got into it because you got into it.
Right. They took us to a NASCAR race in 2012 at Auto Club Speedway. Rest in peace, that facility.
I'm so bummed it got torn down.
Where was this at?
You were there. We won Chump Car there. You brought the RV there, brought the kids. You surprised me.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Giant 2 miles.
We won the 24 hours of Chump Car there.
Give me the doughboy. Did we not talk about the trauma?
I love how you're like,
That was trauma.
what's Auto Club? I'm like, dude, you've slept there at night. That's where our dog ate too much tri-tip and almost died. We have a lot of history with Crider Racing and Auto Club. So we were bummed that it went away as well.
The reason that I know it and the reason that I'm drinking more Doughball whiskey for the trauma is because we were in the middle of a family vacation, a family fucking vacation. We had the RV at the beach with 2 little kids. And I don't know, this motherfucker in the middle of our family vacation takes an Uber or some shit.
From Newport Beach to fucking Auto Club Speedway.
Yeah.
How much was that?
It was, well, it almost cost me half my retirement.
I don't know. Exactly. Super fucking expensive. So he leaves me and the kids in the RV at this vacation. And then he says stupid
The
shit
crew
like
had
this.
the car delivered for me. I showed up.
He says stupid shit like this, like, you'll never even know I'm gone. What?
I'll be back in 24 hours.
We'll
Maybe
never
48.
know you're fucking gone. So he bells us, and it turns out we knew he was fucking gone.
One of my greatest victories.
It wasn't the same without him. And the reason that we knew he was gone is because he kept texting me, and he's just like, the crew fucked this all up. There's no food here. There's no water here. And so I have this RV and these 2 little kids. I packed that. And I can only blame myself.
You came through for us all.
I'm an enabler. I packed up the whole RV. I went to the grocery store. I got food for everybody, water for everybody, drove. And I don't even drive the RV.
What was your guys' relationship at this point?
Married for 20 years.
No. The kids were little. What year was this?
2010.
Okay, and Aaron is Gus's age. So, Aaron, how old were you in 2010?
2010, I was 13 years old.
So I had a
That sounds
13-year-old and an 11-year-old. And we were at the beach. Imagine you're at the beach having your best beach vacation ever.
At
And all of a
13 years
sudden...
old.
And my parents say, oh, we have to go to a racetrack?
No.
Oh, no.
No, not your parents. Your dad just
Your dad
leaves
just disappears.
mysteriously in the middle of the night and says, you'll never even notice I'm gone. And then your mom's weeping.
Have fun at the beach. I'll be back in a couple days.
Your mom is like weeping sadly because she's been abandoned. And then you see your mom like kind of like cruise through. She's just like a couple of laps to the RV park to see if she can find like a new dad for you. Imagine this, Aaron.
Maybe a firefighter.
Yeah. I mean, you're lucky, Rob.
I am lucky there was no available firefighter that day.
Yeah.
Because I would have been fucking divorced that day.
There must have been a big fire or something.
Exactly. But you know what? I still won that fucking trophy, yo.
Does a firefighter have trophies?
Yeah, fuck him. He's got 6-pack abs. What are you going to do with that?
He's got a hose that dangles right between his legs. That's a fucking trophy.
Does he pee his pants in his fire suit, though?
Probably not.
He probably does. If you walked into a burning room and you saw all of that in front of you, I would
your
piss
fucking
myself.
pants.
The thing is I didn't have to hear it. I didn't have to hear it with all of our family and friends. Because that's the thing is everyone is on the radio and everyone's looking at me. Here's the worst part about all of this. I never go to the fucking races because when I do, he's on the radio peeing and so good.
It's better than 6.
Everyone is looking at me.
Being in a race suit in a 3-hour enduro is like,
And they're looking
so
at me
good.
like I'm going to fix this problem. I'm like, what am I going to do? Am I going to go out there on the track and wave him down and tell him, no, the bathroom's right here, dumbass? Like,
I will say this to give you credit, Mrs. Kreider. So, Auto Club Fontana fucking chump car race, 2-day race, Saturday, Sunday. They're separate races, 8-hour sprint races.
yeah.
Saturday, we had some drama in the garage where someone came in and sabotaged our car and they advanced the timing and some shit. We had a bunch of fucking problems.
It wasn't me. I was at the beach still.
So we're like, fuck that. We fix it Saturday night. And then you show up. And so you just randomly pull into the parking lot with our RV full of food and Gatorade and snacks and charcuterie.
Because I'm the good spouse.
And you
What a
take
wife.
care of all of the
No.
fucking crew. And guess what happens on Sunday?
Take that, Mariah.
We fucking win. Yeah, Mariah with your straight pipe
Straight
exhaust.
pipe exhaust.
Mazda 3.
I bring sandwiches.
On Sunday, after you show up, we win chump car overall. And I appreciate you and thank you. And the kids.
Okay, we got off on a tangent.
Did we though?
That's just how I got into racing was our parents took us in 2012 and we were walking up the stairs right as the green flag dropped. And I remember me and my brother were frozen like statues as the cars went by us for the first time to turn around to our mom smiling with the grin from ear to ear.
Awesome.
Hooked for life.
Is your brother older or younger?
He was pretty much right after me, basically.
Okay. Your parents know how to get down. That's good.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mom and Dad, Douglas are getting it on.
If you haven't heard of the Urban Dictionary, look at what my last name means.
We have Rob Gina on Urban Dictionary, so I want to hear what Douglas on Urban Dictionary means.
To ram a sexual partner from behind with great desperate velocity.
Oh, shit. That's what Douglas means.
There we go.
How is that racing related?
Don't worry about it.
I mean, isn't bumping racing? Don't you tell me that?
Bumping is racing.
Ram your
I mean, if you get
partner.
so mad at one of your opponents that you just ram him into the next corner.
I have butt fucked some people on the racetrack, but
Oh.
it's not.
Jesus, we're saying ram from behind.
Well, in the
That's
racetrack,
close
it's
to
much
the
more
same
violent.
thing.
It's much more violent.
I am thinking about your parents. I'm sorry. Your parents are more our peers than you are. And when I say more, like you're not our peer in any way, shape, or form. You're literally the same age as our son. So your parents are, where are your parents? They should be my friends. Maybe we can go out later. But the fact that they got into racing because you did.
So it's kind of got a little bit of a story to it. It's kind of always been right place, wrong time for us getting into motorsports. But my dad has told us that they were literally this close to buying us a sprint car team at one point or another.
Oh,
And
awesome.
they were there. They got the money out of the bank account. They were going to say, screw it, we're going to go do this. It came with a truck, a trailer, 2 sprint cars, one for me and one for my brother.
Holy shit, this is so fucking dope.
It would have been great. And we go there to buy it. As we pull up to buy it, they didn't even tell us, but we saw the trailer. We're like, oh, look, motorsports trailer. And they were being really quiet about it. But as they were there to pull up to buy it, they were actively selling it to somebody else.
Oh no.
And unfortunately, that was the transaction going through. And
It was Denny Hamlin's parents.
so we were so close. And that would have been micro sprints, which they race at like Hanford and like Visalia Plaza Park and all these places.
Did you follow up on that car? Like the family that bought that car? Do you know? Like
I told you,
who it
Denny
was?
Hamlin.
We never knew who they were. All I remember is that it was a royal blue trailer with orange markings on it.
Shit, it was double nickel 9.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's your colors.
sound right up in the alley of that, but
Blue and orange.
I don't know what that team became.
Yeah, but you became a state champion. Did they do that? Probably not.
They could be sprint car champion. They could be racing in the NASCAR.
They could be twice
Series,
divorced.
who knows?
Trust me. It's a fucking... People ask me, like, hey, man, do you wish your kids got into racing? I'm like, oh, fuck no. It's a dangerous, selfish, fucking miserable hobby that will fucking ruin your life. You'll get divorced. You'll be bankrupt. Don't do it.
I saw a guy by the dumpster earlier today and I was like, how'd you get here, babe? And I gave him like some leftover pizza and I'm just like, tell me your story. And he's like, it all happened when my parents bought me this sprint car.
Well, if you bought a sprint car team outside the Napa Auto Parts in Visalia,
Yeah, that was him. He said it all happened outside
Napa
of
Auto Parts
Napa
store.
Auto Parts.
In Visalia.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he was just like, now we're penniless. I'm injured. He was injured too because racing is dangerous. Yeah, he's like, I'm divorced.
He's walking around with a limp, piss his pants.
kind of want to get into that. I mean, yes, racing is inevitably dangerous, but you seem to be very focused on that. And where does this stem from? What is the story behind that?
Well, it's not very it's
The
not
danger
very
or the
funny.
divorce? Because I got both, babe.
Well, it's not very funny on the podcast, but my dad is in a wheelchair from racing cars. So there's that everyday reminder, of being a paraplegic. So,
It's not every day. I don't see your dad every day, but frequently. Every holiday.
during the major holidays, reminder. I'm sorry. I'm sorry my dad's injury wasn't enough to be everyday reminder to you. If an everyday reminder for me, for my wife, it's every major holiday if we see him. Sometimes we'll see her family, then my family, and then my he's walking around fucking erect. He's not in a fucking wheelchair every fucking day. Only on Thanksgiving when we go to Napa. What's wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with
This
you?
is what I was saying. This is the kind of
What
shit
did
that
I
gets,
just add?
this just gets cut later. This gets cut later.
No, we're keeping that shit.
no, that needs to
That's
stay.
fucking staying.
That needs to stay.
Great question.
And then the divorce. Let me just indulge myself for 1 minute here.
Okay, you and your firefighter divorce dreams.
So I was not like Mariah, where I was like hook, line, and sinker. I'm into racing.
I think I got that.
Give me the race car. No, that's because you got that in Mariah, but you also got
No, he also
You got
gets you
that,
not
like-
into it.
well, because you're a fucking asshole. So
Am I?
there's so many scars. There's so much.
It's a deep cut.
There's so much trauma.
Our relationship is young. Those will happen.
Maybe you can learn from us and make it not happen. We're trying to provide wisdom and advice to folks out there.
Let me tell you about the trauma. So the Kreider Classic, first ever Kreider. What are we going on? Are we on the 3rd or the 4th?
Well, 2025 will be the 4th year of the Kreider Classic.
I'm so excited for that, by the
It's
way.
going to be big.
Okay, so let me take you back to the inaugural year of the Kreider Classic.
And what did Miss Kreider think during the inaugural Kreider Classic?
Well,
Well, I just came out of the hospital. So
I'll
she's
tell
pretty
you what
mad
I
at me.
thought.
Oh, that actually makes some sense.
That was the first year.
it was November 2nd, 2022, and I was getting ready for work. It was just a normal day. And I get a phone call from his racing buddy, Keith. And Keith's like, hey, just to let you know, Rob's in the hospital, probably a stroke. He may not talk or walk again. He's 49 years old, by the way.
That's casual. That's super casual.
Yeah. Okay. So that was November 2nd. Now, the Kreider Classic was November 12th, 13th. I'd have to fact check myself.
It's within 10 days.
It was less than a dozen days away. This motherfucker is in the hospital. His face is like slack. He can't even talk yet because he's got like that left side stroke droop. And he's like, and I'm like,
Is there a package in the mail? I got a flag.
can you? And I'm
Hey,
like,
for stuff.
I got to make these plates.
I'm like, what are you trying to say, babe? Like, no matter what, you love me and, you've lived a fulfilled life. And then he's just like, no. And he like writes it down on a piece of paper. He's like, I have the Kreider Classic. I've got to get those trophies done. So this is the trauma. So the first ever Kreider Classic, this guy is less than a dozen days out from a major fucking stroke. What's his biggest priority when he's in the hospital? Not like, can I live a long, fulfilled life? Can I fuck my wife? He's like, hey, I'm a man of my word. I got a race to run.
Hey, I'm a man of my word.
That is full male brain on them, honestly.
Exactly.
That's where the trauma comes from with
So, and the end result was it all worked out. We had the Crider Classic 100. I fucked my wife that night. It all worked out.
you want to know, like, why do I hate racing? And so you want to know, how does this fucking happen?
Well, when you say this, you're pointing to checkered flags on your left forearm.
I didn't even look at that.
Yeah.
It's a tattoo of checkered racing flags.
Yeah. I have a 38 on my body as well, tattooed.
So
Where on your
fucking
body? Is
sexy.
it?
On my thigh.
Okay.
Like nothing too bad, but on my thigh.
It's high in the thigh.
I've got it.
It's by the bush.
It's not on the outside.
A Crider Racing tram stamp coming to you.
Exactly. Oh, it's so sexy.
You're right.
Listen, I'll never leave her. She might leave me. I'm all in on this chick.
I got fucking 38 and racing flags tattooed on
That
me.
is permanently on her.
Yeah, I can't go anywhere.
Listen, I'm very stoked about it.
Remind me, where on your body does it say Sarah?
It says it in my paycheck.
Oh.
Every month.
Oh.
Every fucking month you get it.
You know what? That's better than being stamped on your body.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
On your body ain't worth shit.
There's not much you can buy with a fucking tattoo. You can buy a lot with my paycheck.
Money is king.
That is
Cash is king, baby.
touche.
So not only are you a state champion, you are actually a Twitch streamer and you have your own motorsports channel. Tell us about that. Because as a Gen Xer, I have no fucking idea what you're talking about. You're speaking another language to both of us. Give me the Wikipedia old man version.
So, if you're a big fan of NASCAR and you know what Dale Jr. and Denny Hamlin always used to do, they used to race on NR 2003 years and years and years ago. And we did the same thing, but
And Enter 2003 was a video game.
NASCAR Racing 2003 season, a NASCAR video game simulation, but it also has AI that's built into it. So, it's lived on for 20 plus years now and it's still used today.
But wait, they didn't have AI 20 years ago, did they?
They did
Absolutely they did.
95 in video games.
You could do like the 24-hour Le Mans on Gran Turismo, let AI drive it for you.
Yeah, they have a whole B-spec version of the game. And that
Yep.
B-spec version of the game is just you being a commander of a team while the AI races.
Fuel now, change the tires,
Yep.
that's the limit set up, go.
Lawrence Fishburne, I went out now.
That's the blue pill. You took the red pill. You're fucking in.
It came from this simultaneous love of painting cars.
Painting car, like you can basically do a wrap or livery on these games so that you can see your own car in the game.
Right. So it's got your name on it. It's got whatever sponsor that you love. And we would create these fake teams.
Can I race a Stories and Cocktails car?
You could.
Dude, 100%.
Oh, I can. So it's not a drop down menu.
So my brother Randy, he built us a double nickel 9 orange and blue livery car for different video games.
We ran this, and just for fun of ourselves for years, we've been hosting these races and saving the results and crowning these random champions just for fun, whether they're real people or names that we made up.
Like Dick Trickle, which is actually the real name of a race car
That
driver.
is his real name.
Dick Trickle, NASCAR driver.
It could be as real as a name as myself, as Aaron Douglas, or a random name
California
that I've
state
made up
champion.
as like Kenny Bombera, just because it's a silly name that rolls off the tongue.
Or Dick Trickle.
Kenny Bombera. I
Kenny
like that.
Bombera.
That's a great racing name.
Right.
That sounds like a fucking YouTube show I'd watch. Kenny Bombera, NASCAR.
iRacing, who is actually made off their code from Enter 2003. It's the same makers essentially, but they've evolved throughout the years.
It's an interactive driving simulator for racing. And so our team, Double Nickel 9 Motorsports, has used it to learn tracks like Circuit of the Americas or Mid-Ohio, where a California team had to go all the way across the country to race in the national championship. We use this program to help us learn.
Okay.
But other people use it to just have crazy fucking fun.
Continuing from NR to now iRacing and just running this is we were like, well, some people have entertained the thought of wanting to watch it, broadcast it live on Twitch for however many people want to see. Start out with maybe 3, 4, 5. Now we're getting up to the words of 80 people watching a race.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's more people we have on this podcast. So that's
Yeah.
And so now it's actually getting to the point where even like we're getting paid to do this. We're just having fun hosting all these things with just fantasy teams and whatnot. And then people watching just for the love of it. Because the AI still puts on a pretty entertaining show. It still looks like a real race. But it's just our names up there and we're just having fun with it.
This program is so good. Like if you're racing around Laguna Seca, if you make a left down the corkscrew, there's a little grate for water to go through. And you can feel it with your car when you drive the track for real.
Okay.
When you drive iRacing, you will actually hit the grate. You'll see the grate. They've actually gone through and 3D map the entire track.
Now, does it get into the driver's like mindset, like the Cake song, like he's going the distance, and then we get into
going
his
for
mindset,
speed.
like he spent his mortgage, like if he doesn't win, his wife, like if he doesn't doesn't take
His
this
dad's
corner.
in a wheelchair.
Yeah, like does it get into that?
We portray it in that fashion by voiceovering it like it's a NASCAR broadcast.
So the thing is that they put this race on and then they narrate over it, and it's so entertaining. People are fucking watching it.
Because you guys are adding
The color.
this
We're adding
drama.
that extra layer of turning it into what would be like an actual NASCAR broadcast.
So lay out the name so people can check it.
If you watch it on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/URDTV.
URDTV.
Okay, so I 100% understood everything that you knew because I'm down with the Gen Z and I speak your language. I'm young at heart and I'm also young looking in the face. But Rob's a Gen Xer, and so
He's old and dumb. Had a stroke.
pretend like we have like a smart TV or we have like a Roku or something. Like, is this a channel we have to add?
If you can watch it on Twitch any way, sort of form, like if you have it on
So
your
I
phone,
download Twitch.
down Twitch,
the app.
and you can cast it to the TV from your phone, or you can just watch it straight from your phone.
Is it an app I can put on my TV?
Because I know you fucking Gen Zers love to watch shit on your phones. We like to sit on our couch and watch the big 50-inch. So,
I don't know how to cast.
So I'm on Roku. I go Twitch. Add app.
That's going to be the thing is if those...
See, this is why I had to ask because I knew he didn't know.
I'm so dumb.
If there's any TV company that actually out there has Twitch, I would be very impressed. And I kind of don't know why they don't, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on with Twitch.
Yes, it's supposed to be super popular.
So you have to cast it from our phones.
Phone cast to TV. Okay, shit. Damn. This is the complicated component where this is why old people like us haven't seen it yet. I'm like, power, Netflix,
Search Twitch.
Friends. Oh, Twitch. Shit. Am I doing this? Oh, fuck. Oh, I gotta use my phone. Oh, my phone's... fuck it. Forget it. Let's just watch Stranger Things. Okay, so we're going to talk about a lot of racing stuff, and it'll make no sense to most of our tens of listeners.
So let me just time out for a minute because contrary to popular belief, Rob Kreider, this isn't a racing podcast.
That's my other podcast that I haven't started yet.
Let's pretend let's just start with Racing for Dummies.
What we're talking about is there's many types of racing you've seen. If you watch the show Drive to Survive, you know what Formula One is. It is
No one's watched that.
Well, Mrs. Kreider, I love you. I love you. But you say stupid shit sometimes. When you say no one is watching Drive to Survive on Netflix,
Max Verstappen.
Verstappen.
You like Lewis Hamilton. You think he's a sexy man.
Yeah, I do. Is he
Max
on the show?
Verstappen kicked his... Yes.
Oh, well, why aren't I watching that?
I don't know. I've been trying to get you to watch
I'll
it for
tell you why
6
I'm
fucking
not,
years.
because no one's watching.
Okay. All right. So there's different types of motorsports. Formula One being the peak, the pinnacle of motorsports. We in Kreider Racing, Double Guy Motorsports have been involved in many different levels. None of them anywhere near that. But we run a series called the California Autocross Championship. It is a statewide championship where people who run a series called Autocross can get points in different races and become a state champion. And our guest, Aaron Douglas, is the California state champion this year, 2024,
Whoop, whoop.
in SST.
Whoop, whoop.
Super Street Touring, a very fast class.
Oh, that's what SST stands for.
Yes.
Super Street Touring.
Describe what autocross is.
So autocross is a very cool sport because it has a low barrier to entry, right? You don't have to have a NASCAR team and a trailer. All you have to have is a street car, a helmet, and $50, and boom, you're racing. So autocross is a time trial event where you can take your own street car. You can go around a cone course, and every single time you compete in autocross is a different course. So it is very dynamic and very high speed. You have to have good driver input and reaction time, and you have to learn tracks quickly because you only get 3 to 5 laps per event. Your fastest lap of the 3 to 5 laps is your overall lap. If you win, it's like Formula One, Drive to Survive. First place is 25 points. And then I actually changed the points a little bit because I really wanted to focus on the podium. So first, second, third, I'm all about podium finishes. They got the most points. And then your points went down from there.
So wait,
10th or better, you get 0 points.
let me just make sure I understand this. The first place person got the most points?
Yes.
That's a novel idea. Good. Good job on you for figuring that out.
So I use a Formula One point system, but I modified that system because I think I'm actually better than Bernie Ecclestone at making the points.
Who's Bernie Ecclestone?
The guy who ran Formula One for decades.
Max Verstappen?
No, Max Verstappen is the current world champion.
Lewis
Will be
Hamilton?
the world champion again.
Now, does every participant have someone in their life, in their background, who's upset with them that they spent more money than they should have or took more time? Or is that just you?
Probably me. The California Autocross Championship basically brought in 6 of the most challenging races across the state. The Kreider Classic 100 in Fresno, the Larry Park Memorial at Crow's Landing. One is the SCCA National Tour, which is a tour race for the whole country. The Lone Pine Time Trials in Lone Pine, and then Enduro at the end of the year, which is the Sacramento Enduro.
What's an enduro?
Basically, it's like 5 laps in one instead of 1 lap at a time.
Oh, I thought there was just like a wife in the background, just like enduring this bullshit.
All the hardest races there are, we brought them together for a points championship for autocross autocrossers in the state to win a championship.
Get to the website.
CalAutoXChamps.com.
There we go. Thank you, Aaron.
Basically, it is a statewide series. Now, the winner overall gets a Tag Heuer watch from Orloff Jewelers in Fresno. This is a $2,000 watch. Thank you to Max Orloff. Not only are you racing for points all year long, you could actually win a fucking dope watch. You can wear it's engraved, says California State Champion on it. That's a big deal. That's for the overall winner for the Index Championship. But each class, there's many classes in SCCA, Sports Car Club of America, where you can win your class. And Aaron won SST.
This was a lot of fun. I've never done anything like this before. I mean, I've done the SCCA stuff with our local stuff, but I haven't done a state championship. And I've been racing my Challenger for the past couple of years. And this was the first time I went through and did this with a car that we had purposely built for the state championship, and did this as a collaboration with my father. And it turned into something that was just absolutely a blast to do.
Every state championship winner gets a plaque that you're a state champion. You get 20% off from Ioport Racing Supplies. You get 10% off from Orloff Jewelers. And then the big winner gets the tag watch. So it's a pretty cool series.
It's a healthy group of events that are across the entire state.
This show is an unapproved show. So basically, Mrs. Kreider, I didn't tell her that we were going to mention everybody who won the California State Championship on the show, Stories and Cocktails. That's how you do it in marriages. You ask for forgiveness. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, this was like the one thing that we had that racing hadn't tarnished yet was this podcast. And then you just came and you just took your fucking race car dick and you just pissed all over.
I pissed all over it.
Yeah. And you're like, this is the special racing episode of Stories and Cocktails.
Okay, so we have 15 state champions. We're going to mention it. So we're going to go through the list here.
All right, let me start you.
All right.
Number 1, Aaron Douglas. First place of the California Autocross Championship in SST, which stands for Super Street Touring.
I never loved you more than I do right now, baby. You sound so sexy.
I do learn shit.
Holy shit.
I know.
You are a quick learner. All right, so we're going to walk through the list here. So in B Street this year was won by Phil Lay, driving a Toyota Corolla GR. This is an incredibly dope car. He won the Lone Pine Time Trials, got the win for the state championship. In D Street, we have a second-year champion, John Rowe, Honda Civic Type R, super fast car. In F Street, we have the man John Osgood in his Cadillac CTS-V, also a two-time state champion, 100%er. He went to every event.
Michelle.
700 horsepower. Yeah, Michelle Rocha, man. Big fan of the show, always at every event. Solo Spec Coupe, Scion FRS, driven by Eric Martin, won the Kreider Classic 100. He's also a 100%er as well from last year. We obviously talked about Super Street Touring. Aaron Douglas, the man, our guest here right now.
Yes.
Street Touring Ultra, Paul Tibbles in a Subaru STI, another 100%er. He also had a win at the Kreider Classic 100. He's also a two-time state champion. STR, Street Touring Roadster, won by Connor Bakken in the BMW M3. He won the Enduro in Sacramento. Street Touring Extreme, this was a great battle. This was Bill Marlowe running my suspension, actually from the National Championships. I sold to him. He's in a Honda Civic HPF. He won the last 3 races of the season. He's a 100%er and got the win for the state championship. He had a big fight with Dan Carell in a BMW. Speaking of Dan Carell, his better half, Sandra Hermans, she won all 6 events. She's our only undefeated racer this year with 100 points. She has a special rocker on her trophy that says 100% undefeated, 100 points. She won 6 races for the state championship in Street Touring Extreme Ladies. Street Touring Sport, STS, that was won by my little brother, Randy Kreider, 89 Civic SI, one of the best autocross cars ever made. He got 3 events and 3 wins. He would have got the undefeated rocker, but he didn't go to 4 events. Street Mod, my man, Jerry Kell, he won the Subaru WRX wagon. I'm a huge fan of anyone who races a station wagon. Jerry Kell's the man. He got 2 wins, including a Lone Pine win, the longest, fastest autocross on the planet. KMC was won by Michael Gardner, driving a Shelby GT350. He has 1 win at the Kreider Classic 100. He was the California State Champion in 2023 and 24. Say what KMC is. That acronym's hard.
CAMC is Classic American Muscle.
CAM-T was won this year by Eduardo Pineda in a 71 Camaro, a dope yellow and black 71 Camaro. But let's get to the real winners of the year. Top time of the year, meaning the person that won the most top time of days every event, that went to Naveed Kahangi, winning A Street in a Tesla Model 3. He got a 100% award. He won the Kreider Cup, which is a first place overall time at the Kreider Classic 100 at Fresno SCCA. Michael Ella got second in that class. A Street, one of the toughest fights of the year. Those guys in the Model 3 Teslas absolutely smashing it. But our big winner, Justin Tsang in a Porsche GT3, getting the Tag Heuer from Orloff Jewelers. He won the Sacramento Enduro. He got fast times in Super Street in the Kreider Classic 100. He won the national championship this year in his GT3. So if anyone's going to win the state championship, that goes to Justin Tsang. Justin Sassang, national champion this year and state champion, all lined up. Porsche GT3 for the win.
Is that it? 15 drivers?
15 drivers, baby.
Yeah.
This boring racing shit is over.
Yeah. Okay, let's ship you two off to K1 Speed.
Yeah, we got to go to K1 Speed for a Fresno SCCA meeting. All right, well, thank you, state champion Aaron Douglas, for being on our show. Let's raise a glass here. What we do here is we bring up our fine drinks, give ourselves a cheers, and end it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And that was Last Call. You did it. You survived an episode of Stories and Cocktails. But did Rob or Sarah's liver survive the show? I don't know. Tune into the next episode to find out, to enjoy some more stories and some more cocktails. By the way, if you want to support the debauchery of the show, then buy the hosts their next round by Venmoing a couple of gold doubloons at Stories and Cocktails. Back in the day, a gold doubloon was only $4 Spanish. Who knew? Well, folks, I'll be right here behind the bar, cleaning the glassware and awaiting your return to the Stories and Cocktails podcast. Cheerio, friends.
If you enjoy hearing Rob Kreider's different humor columns here on the Stories and Cocktails podcast, then I promise you will love his novel, Cadet Blues. Cadet Blues is Rob's hilarious tell-all about desperately trying to survive the shock and awe boot camp-style training at the California Highway Patrol Academy. People from all different walks of life have come to love this book because Cadet Blues is simply a crazy good read. Heartfelt, inspiring, and damn funny. It's available in paperback through Amazon, eBay, or cadetblues.com, where you can get free shipping and a personalized autographed book. Or you can download a digital copy of Cadet Blues from Amazon Kindle, Barnes & Noble Nook, or Apple iBooks. Do yourself a favor and check out the novel, Cadet Blues.